Are you an adult English language learner? Do you sometimes feel like saying, hell yeah, let's learn some English? If so, you're in the right place. This is EF'nL. Hell yeah! I'm Mr. Don, and this is where we talk about English the way it's spoken in the real world by people just like me, native speakers, your friends, and we don't shy away from controversial topics. Are you interested in things like rock and roll, good books, movies filled with mayhem, action, violence, and improving your English vocabulary? If so, then yeah, this is the place for you. So come on and join me for the next 20 minutes or so, and let's learn some English together. This is episode 4, and I try to upload once a week. All right, let's get started. Hi, this is the segment I call Chit Chat, where we just talk about an interesting topic for a few minutes. I'll ask you some questions. You can go ahead and respond out loud in English if you'd like, or just keep the answer in your head. That's fine. Other people might think you're crazy if you respond out loud in a public place. Okay, the whacked word of the week is phenomenon. And that is an experience, something you perceive or experience with your senses. It could be explained by science, but often it is not. So the unexplainable are the most interesting phenomena, which is the plural. And also the movie of the week, you'll see, relates to this topic. So my questions for you: what do you believe as far as ghosts, haunted houses? Do you believe that spirits can affect our world and the living? Do you believe in life after death? Do you believe in UFOs? Have you ever seen a UFO, or have you ever seen anything that you can't explain? When I was younger, I was fascinated by topics like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster and UFOs, and I wanted to believe in all of that, and I did mostly. I think I read every book on the single shelf in our county library, and I come from a small town, so it wasn't a huge library. I had read all of those books by the time I finished junior high school. I was kind of like Fox Mulder on the X-Files. As I've become older, I got, I've become a lot more skeptical. I don't believe in most of those things anymore. But some of them, yeah. I've had some experiences in life that I can't explain. At least science that we know cannot explain them. Now, how about you? Well, that's today's topic for Chit Chat. So think about those kinds of questions, how you would answer them in English, and what questions would you have related to the topic for some of your English-speaking friends. All right. All right, this is the freaking fun phrase of the week. And this week, The phrase is, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Or more often, a lot of people will just say ain't. Ain't means isn't or aren't, as most of you already probably know. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. What do I mean by that? All right, let's give it a concrete example or situation. A lot of organizations, or even most maybe, when somebody new becomes a leader, head of the department, head of the company, whatever, a lot of times, first thing they do is try to change things. And a lot of times they change things from being good. I mean, they're running well. Everything is perfect or near perfect. And they make changes and it screws everything up. Okay? If a process, a protocol, a system that you have in place is already good, why would you want to change it? Anyway, and that's where this saying comes from. It's very popular in the US military, where you have new commanders every few years that come into military units. And a lot of times, some of them are guilty of changing things for no reason than to try to make themselves look good or for a bullet point on a paper for promotion. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay. Related to that is an acronym. An acronym is where each letter spells out a word. In this case, the acronym KISS. And when you spell those out, it qualifies as a phrase. So I'm going to include it here. And that is keep it simple, stupid. All right. I tend to operate or run things keeping this in mind in my classroom, in a lot of different things in life. It's best when you're trying to explain things or give instructions to keep it as simple as possible. Okay, and that is the acronym KISS. And that is the freaking fun phrase of the week segment. All right, it's time for Spotlight on Music. And this week's spotlight falls on the Black Keys. Let's take a look. All right. This is a band from Ohio. They formed in the early 2000s and got going. You can see some of their albums here. Wow, I didn't know they had one out this year called Peaches, and I haven't heard it, so I'll have to check it out. I didn't start listening to them until about 2010. Maybe Attack and Release 2008 is when I first heard of them and listened to them. Turn Blue was a big one, Delta Cream. They've had a lot of big hits as well. We'll take a look at some of their videos in just a second. Their style of music ranges from, what should I say, blues to jazz to southern rock, and all of those types or genres of music. Originally, the next part of the video on the Black Keys, it was red flagged by YouTube for copyright infringement because I had included a couple clips from some of their more popular videos. Crawling King Snake is a good one. Tighten Up, I showed. This is funny. This is just about how women or females from even an early age can wrap men around their little finger, and how men act really stupid around them and compete for their attention. Wild Child is a video that always makes me laugh no matter how many times I see it. And it takes place in an American high school, and that's the reason why. Its portrayal of some of the staff, I think, is pretty accurate and not very flattering. Poor Boy is a good one. And then, of course, going down south. A reason I like this video is because it shows a lot of good scenery from the southern U.S. or the south, Mississippi Delta area, Oklahoma, wherever, different parts. But it's, it just shows some scenes of poverty, impoverished places in the south. And yeah, it's also a really great song. So when you have time, check out the Black Keys. They're a great band. This is the Beg, Borrow, or Buy This Book, Steal This Story segment. And the book I'm going to highlight this week is A Short History of Nearly Everything, which is written by Bill Bryson. Okay, he is an American who was born and raised in Iowa in the central U.S., in the heartland of America, we might say, in farm country. And then he spent about 20 years living in England. And so he wrote a very nice book about Britain called Notes from a Small Island. And he also wrote a famous book about coming back to America after having been overseas for so long and how strange it was. What a strange place. And that's something that I can relate to because, many times in my life, I have spent many, many years living in Asia and then have come back to the U.S. and a lot of things seem really weird. I don't know if that's happened to you or not. Okay, so in this book, A Short History of Nearly Everything, he writes about all kinds, all branches or fields of scientists. So you see here, you've got archaeology, paleontology, physics, astronomy, anthropology, math. And what he talks about is how scientists know what they know today. How did they figure this out? So it's really fascinating. And he also talks about how normal people, laymen, who had an interest in those fields of study also contributed to the knowledge that we have today. The final takeaway from this that was amazing to me was just how little we do know still. So, for example, he talks about with astronomy how little we know about what's in our own backyard, in our own solar system even. And it really makes an impression on you. So if you're interested in science, check this book out. If you're interested in travel writing, then maybe check out some of his other books. And that's it for our book segment. All right. This is the Movie Mayhem segment where we shine a spotlight on a particular movie that is badass, that has lots of violence, mayhem, action. And this week's movie is The Objective. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first part of the trailer.
My orders are to make contact with a cleric. This is our man.
Pretty quiet from here.
Those are the ones I worry about most. Man, we couldn't have picked the worst possible way through here. Where are the bodies?
Now you notice he said we couldn't have possibly picked a worse possible way through here. So some interesting English grammar. You'll notice this is a special operations, a spec ops team in Afghanistan. And at first glance, it just looks to be another military movie, but it isn't.
Look at that!
compass is telling me that that's north.
I don't see how that's possible.
We should not have come here.
That's not funny, man. I filled this thing up with water last night.
You guys hear that?
What's wrong? You see anything?
Yeah, holy crap. I'd start firing at anything that moved if I saw that through my night vision goggles as well. So some crazy, funky, weird shit is going down. They start to experience some strange phenomena, okay?
What the hell's going on? Jesus Christ! What we need to do is extract.
Extract, as in get the hell out of here now.
Saying this mission is not an option.
Cover! What the fuck is going on?
All right, that is the objective. So check it out and enjoy. Okay, the whackety whacked word of the week is phenomenon. All right, and the plural is phenomena. Some people get that confused or mixed up. So if you hear a native English speaker using that wrong, plural and singular, don't make a big deal about it. But phenomenon, phenomena. A phenomenon is an interesting, unusual, often very impressive, sometimes unexplained event that we see, that we hear, that we experience. Okay, that's my definition. You can look that up yourself. Some example of common phenomena are psychic phenomena. For example, reading another person's mind or telling the future. Paranormal phenomena. Lots of ghost shows, shows about spirits, things like that on TV, and they become very popular. Paranormal, right outside the normal range of our senses to explain. Science can't explain them. Most recently in the news, you've seen the new acronym UAP, and I believe a lot of people just put an S on it. So it actually should be unexplained aerial phenomena, which is already plural, so you wouldn't need an S, but people say UAPs, okay, to make it plural. And those are basically UFOs, what used to be always called UFOs. I still call them UFOs. I believe they've also changed the A from aerial, as in airplane, to anomalous, I think. Anomaly. An anomaly is something abnormal, okay? So abnormal, unexplained phenomena, events, strange things that are taking place. I don't know. To me, I think aerial is better, and I think even better than that is just to say UFOs, okay? We know what they are. UFOs. Other types of phenomena would be strange weather patterns. Weather is wacky, it's weird. We can do strange things. I don't know if you've ever heard of ball lightning. My grandma had an experience where ball lightning came through their living room, fried their TV, and exited out through the porch. Really strange. Cloud formations sometimes are really strange. The northern lights, or aurora borealis, as the scientists like to call it, those are a fascinating phenomenon to observe. If you've never seen them, you can do that from the north parts of the globe. Okay, that's what that is. When you see those lights in the sky like that at nighttime. Yeah, really impressive. Okay, so that's another example of a natural phenomenon. All right, that is the whackety whacked word for this week. All right, that is it for this week's episode, number 4 of EF'nL. Hell yeah! And I hope you got something from the show. You probably did. And if you did learn some new vocabulary and enjoy it, please do me a solid, do me a favor, and let your English learning friends know about the show. And yeah, I will see you again next week. Take care.